Welcome one and all to Pokemon Mashup, a segment of Mons of Art where we take two characters, one Pokemon and one other popular character, and mash them into one Pokemon card artwork. Now, the characters could be from an animated series, a movie, video game, or even a real-life famous person, but regardless of what character we're going to use, every Pokemon needs a type. Types like Water, Fire, Dark, and Psychic, just to name a few. But maybe you're asking yourself right now, what's a type without a cool bunch of moves to back it up? Well, we got you covered, little Jimmy, because we're going to be using theme-based moves for our mashup cards. And mainly these themes will be based around the other characters and not so much the Pokemon. That's a good one, right? Clever. Yeah, that's not overpowered at all. That'll wrap up the Pokemon card mashup explanation. Now, is that clear as mud?
Yeah.
Don't forget to leave a like and comment down below on what mashup card you'd like to see and why. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss your Pokemon card mashup. In this very first Pokemon card mashup video, I wanted to start off with some fan favorites, you know, for the views. So I decided to go with Link from Legend of Zelda, with the yellow electric rat legend himself, Pikachu. But what should the theme of this card be? Well, Link carries a sword and shield, so maybe steel type? Okay, let's try it again. Link does hang out with a lot of forest spirits, and those Koroks are maybe fairies of some kind? Maybe a fairy theme? Okay, I got it this time. Link is originally from the forest, and so is Pikachu. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Link is a Hylian. He's not actually from the forest, right? But in many Zelda games, he was raised in a forest, so I'm going to say it's valid. So maybe we go with a grass theme for this card. And while we're at it, maybe let's change Adult Link to Kid Link, because that's more representative of a grass type. Alright, so let me take you through how I'm going to draw this mashup card, and then we'll get right into the drawing. So I decided to adapt 3 unique groups of Pokemon into characters from The Legend of Zelda, specifically from the Kokiri Forest, a Pseudo-Udo Deku, or Deku Tree, however you want to pronounce it, and 3 grass starter Kokiri Spirits, and of course Link Pikachu himself. So probably without being said, we did choose the Kokiri Forest as the theme area, I guess you could call it, of Legend of Zelda to base this card in, and the kind of artwork style that we're going to go for with this card, sort of an anime chibi style drawing, a little bit more of that like cute feel to it, a little bit more like big wide-eyed type of style. So I think that's just enough information to get us started. Let's get to the table and start drawing. First, let's sharpen our pencils and draw along with me if you'd like. It'd be nice to have you all here with me, drawing a Link Pikachu. Some of this is going to be fast forwarded. Well, most of it's actually going to be fast forwarded. I think if I didn't fast forward this, it would probably be around 20 minutes. So let's shorten this down and get concise. So we'll start off with Pikachu's cheek. And I think I'm going to start working down into the body part, kind of where Link's garment starts near the legs, and we'll go back up to the hat and the hair of Pikachu. So we decided to start with around the middle of the page so that we could draw Link Pikachu as the center object, and then everything else will be kind of spread around the left and the right hand side in the background, because Link Pikachu is going to be the main character and the main focus of the card. So starting off with Pikachu's face, we got a couple of eyes in his cheeks. Gonna do a little rough shading in this one, nothing too like crazy or color. Comment down below if you'd like to see me do coloring for these. It takes a bit more time, but it might look a little bit better as well in our card if we do decide to color it. Now going into Pikachu's tail, and this is where we're going to draw the Deku shield. And a couple of times I've drawn this, it's actually been a little bit tricky to get the scaling right for the shield. So I do switch it up a little bit later, but for now it's approximately the right size. We are going to make it a little bit bulkier after, so it matches kind of the stubby theme of Pikachu and his body type in this card. And here's the belt going in the middle of the body. We're doing kind of like a bottom up a little bit perspective. So we make the belt kind of look as if it's a little bit high on the waist. And just doing a little bit of detailing here on the kind of curves and the folds of the garment. Make a small correction because I think if you made Pikachu's garment a little bit too short, which I've done a couple of times, I've probably practiced this about 4 times now before going into this video. Just a little bit too stubby for his overall appearance. It just kind of looks awkward, so you do have to make it the right length so that it looks a little bit chubby, stubby, chunky, but not too weird and dwarfy, if you know what I mean. And we decided to kind of go with a Kokiri theme here. As you can tell, the sword is also kind of a very simplistic looking Kokiri sword. That would be from the Legend of Zelda 64 version. I am an old guy, so I'm into Pokemon and the Legend of Zelda from late 90s, early 2000s, so inspiration comes from, I guess, that version, 64 version, Nintendo 64. And I did want to make the hat, Link's hat, really kind of oversized on Pikachu because I thought it would look kind of cute and kind of cool at the same time. Like he's, it's like he kind of borrowed Link's hat instead of making his own, which I thought would look kind of cool. Some bushes in the foreground, just to give it a little bit of dimension. This isn't going to be a perfect card. I didn't practice like 100 times or anything like that, just a couple of times before I went into this. Because really I'm just trying to make it a fun exercise. Nothing too artistically significant or artistically complicated. I'm not really an artist myself. I just like to draw and got a little bit of skills in it, not really that much. So these are all just rough. And so we decided to go for a tree on the left side. My plan was to put all of the Korok starter grass types on this side. So I start with the Bulbasaur, and I tried to make the masks of these Koroks, as you know, they kind of look creepy. So I tried to fit different types of creepy Korok masks. Korok, I have a hard time saying that word. Korok masks for each of the starters. As you see, starting on Bulbasaur's mask, it is a little bit weird. I tried to shape it and make it look weird, and tried to stick out his ears from the mask at the top there, as you can see, and tried to go for those little liver spots, and the bulbs are in the back there. He's kind of a chunky sort of Bulbasaur. He's kind of chibi. That was kind of the theme for this card anyway, so I decided to make everything kind of chunky, chibi type in appearance. And this is where we started the Chikorita in the back, and the leaf mask. You can kind of tell it's a Chikorita just from its like little hooves. As you know, Chikorita's got those little hooves on its hands and its legs, almost like a horse. And it's got that kind of derpy looking mouth. And of course it's got that little leaf on the top of its head that droops over, rather, not drips. It definitely droops and not drips. And just for a little bit more dimensionality, put a little rocks and a little grass everywhere, just to make it look like they're all in a forest together, and it doesn't look too much like empty space. And so I start on the Rowlet, up at the top there. He's going to be perched up on this tree. That's why I drew the tree. I wanted him to be standing on top of it and kind of looking down on everybody. And so I made a little beak here on his face. And here's his little talons. I really wanted him to look like he was kind of perched on the top of a branch, so I did a little bit of an edit on this one. Just moved the branch a little bit down, a little bit skinnier, and then drew a little bit of a bush brush there at the end. His little bow tie. I keep saying little. I don't know why I like the word little. His little this, his little that. And now I'm starting on the Deku tree at the right-hand side, the Pseudo-Wudo Deku tree. Try to say that 3 times really fast. Pseudo-Wudo Deku tree. I can't even say it once. Pseudo-Wudo Deku tree, Pseudo-Wudo Deku tree, Pseudo-Wudo Deku tree. There we go. Good job. So since the Deku tree is so huge, I'm deciding to fit him into the background, as if he's really far away from us in the back, and there's a little path we can take to go further in to the forest and go see him. Here's kind of where the typical Pseudo-Wudo eyes come in, and mouth, a derpy mouth. And I tried to make it part of the Deku tree, and trying to fit his arms into this as sort of big branches instead of the Deku tree, which doesn't have these branches sticking out like that. And there's some, I guess, seagulls in the background to make it look like it's very far away, and a little lake, or at least tried to make a little lake, and some little trees in the back. Little. How many times can I say little in one video? Somebody make a counter. I'd like to know. And just kind of shade out the background so it looks like there's darkness without getting too much into detail. And little touch-ups here and there. I do a little bit of shading, but nothing too crazy. I just wanted to get the artwork completed and making it look like it was almost a complete sketch, rather than going into too much detail and coloring it and digitizing it and inking it all up and making it look poppy and really, really nice and standout-ish. That was kind of what I wanted to get out of this. And who knows, maybe in the future, keep making these mashup cards, I'll start doing that and going further into detail, making them colorful, putting them on the computer and digitizing them up. Maybe that's the next step. But for now, we're just going to shade everything in as if it was that green color, brown colors of Link's costume. And we're going to leave it at that and say that we're good to go. The design is there. Had a really nice time drawing this. Had a really fun time thinking about the concept of this art. Just shading in Bulbasaur, shading in the background. And doing just a couple of little darkness, poppy bits. That's all I can really say. Well, that's all we have. And that's going to be Link Pikachu. I really enjoyed drawing this one. It was great. And can't wait to do the next one. It's going to be a continuation of this one. We're going to stick with the Legend of Zelda theme for this Pokemon mashup. Charizard, Ganondorf next. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be doing a little bit more darker, realistic theme. Not so much this chibi cutesy stuff. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment down below of what you'd like to see me do a mashup of. Which character, which Pokemon. Tell me why you want to see it. And I can't wait to see y'all in the next one. See ya.